X-Play, TV's most watched video game show.
On today's X-Play, our exclusive coverage of GDC 08 from San Francisco goes out with a bang as we whip out our all-access pass to Fable 2 with Peter Molyneux. Plus, we've got the world broadcast premiere of American McGee's Grimm. It might keep you up at night. And brand new details on the smash hit Mass Effect for the PC, straight from the mad doctors who created it. Grab some cover. It's game time.
Welcome to X-Play, the center of the gaming universe. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. We are coming to you from the Moscone Center in San Francisco on Friday, February 22nd. The 2008 Game Developers Conference ends today, but our exclusive coverage is far from over.
Today we'll talk with the minds behind BioWare's Mass Effect and get all the details on the upcoming PC port. We've got the world premiere of American McGee's Grimm, plus we'll get an all-access look at Fable 2 with Peter Molyneux. But first, let's get all of the day's top stories in our gaming update.
After taking home 3 awards earlier this week, Portal has returned to the limelight thanks in part to our interview with Kim Swift, one of the game's original designers. During yesterday's show, Kim was able to reveal information regarding the game's origin, but she also let it slip that work on Portal 2 was currently underway. Recently, Valve's marketing director Doug Lombardi promised something would be coming, but we've yet to hear whether or not the game will ship as a standalone retail product or if it'll be bundled with another game. Sega has confirmed that Aliens Colonial Marines, a new squad-based first-person shooter, will be released for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC late in 2008. The game will feature an original storyline based on the popular franchise, while retaining the look and feel of the film. Details are scarce, but we do know the game will feature a 4-player co-op mode, giving each player a unique role to play while accomplishing missions. With the release date of Grand Theft Auto 4 just over 2 months away, Microsoft has announced the game's first episode of downloadable content will be available this August. The so-called Episode 1 will be exclusive to the Xbox 360 and is the first of 2 episodes expected to be released via Xbox Live. This also just in, we really want to play that game. Could April 29th take any longer to get here? Bungie has released a new patch for Halo 3 that fixes many of your complaints. The update will rebalance melee attacks, resolve connection issues, and fix dirty disk errors. As a precaution, Bungie has warned gamers that they may experience temporary lag issues since the patch will reset your hosting and network connection history. The patch will also unlock the Elite Commando Shoulder Armor variant, so we can all frag each other, in style. Well, that's all for today's gaming update. For all the latest gaming news, head on over to g4tv.com/xplay. But now let's go over to Adam, who's ready to dive into 2007's most unintentionally controversial game.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, dialogue trees and diplomacies don't sound like the recipe for a hit game, but the people at BioWare proved that's all wrong. Today, we're talking with the doctors about their best-selling epic Mass Effect and how it's going to look on your PC.
I'm here with Ray and Greg, the doctors from BioWare, and we're very excited to be talking Mass Effect, but of course there's a new version, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing soon?
Sure, we're showing the PC version of Mass Effect, coming hot on the heels of last year's big hit. We've really focused on the gameplay experience for the PC player, things like high resolution, really slick controls. We've actually completely redone the controls, worked on the interfaces a lot, really allow the player to actually experience it even more tactical in the sense that you can have better control of your party or you can run and gun. So it's a real nice balance, and actually PC players will really be blown away, but also just how incredible it looks in high res with huge textures.
It's so beautiful. I mean, like the high resolution and the characters and the digital actors, they just jump out at you. So it's an amazing experience.
Talk a little bit about the controls. Like, how do you change the controls to make it much more of a PC experience?
We really spend the time understanding what the players want on PC, and we make sure we actually customized it. We actually got a lot of player feedback from the 360 version. We really made sure that we adapted the play to accommodate the way that players want to play the game on PC. So things like run and gun allow you to really control your main character and have full control in combat situations. A little more fine-tuning of the squad command as well. We changed the inventory system as well and made it easier to really manage your inventory, which is great feedback from 360. For us, it's about making sure we really adapt the game to be just optimized, because we love our PC fans and we want to make sure that they get a great game.
Time to get some attention.
Is this game, is it going to have very similar content, to the same content as the console version?
I don't study the internal politics of pirate bands.
The real focus we had on the game was on the controls and the player experience. There's going to be some stuff we do for content, but that's a little bit under wraps now.
Will you join with me, Shepard?
Just tell me what to do.
And of course, we were planning on post-release content for the 360 version called, well, first one's called Bring Down the Sky. So you might see sort of a nice bunch of post-release content for both platforms in the future as well.
One of the neat things about Mass Effect is the game is just so big. When I played it through, I think I finished about 3 times before we shipped on 360, and one of the times I played it through, I tried to do about almost everything in the game, 95% or more. It took me like 40 to 50 hours to get through all the Uncharted worlds and all the main game content. So we're pretty sure a lot of players have just never seen the whole galaxy. If you only scratch the surface of the game on 360, there's a ton more to explore on PC, and it's optimized. It's really playing well.
So if you miss Mass Effect on the console, just want to explore it a little more, you've got to pick it up on the PC. Thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up on X-Play, the world broadcast premiere of American McGee's Grimm, which makes Twisted Fairy Tales even more twisted. Plus, borrow our all-access pass to find out everything you could ever want to know about Fable 2. Stay tuned.
If you've ever worried away,
Welcome back to X-Play. Well, we've seen a ton of great games this week at GDC, and the developers have really outdone themselves this year. But who should we really be keeping an eye out for? Well, find out today's X-List. Here's the top 5 developers to watch out for in 2008.
At number 5 is Pandemic. Sure, Mercenaries 2 has been delayed a couple of times, but from what we've seen, it'll be worth the wait. At number 4 is Epic Games, who have this little Gears of War sequel on the way.
And in at 3 is BioWare with their Mass Effect sequel and PC port, which makes you want to replay it all over. Right ahead of that is Lionhead Studios, who finally lifted the curtain on Fable 2 this week.
And at number 1 is Bethesda. We loved Oblivion, but that game needed guns and, the apocalypse. Thankfully, Fallout 3 will remedy this problem. American McGee might sound like a fake name a terrorist would use to get into the country, but to hardcore gamers, it means the developer that worked on Doom and gave us Alice. At this year's GDC, he's back with more fairy tales in Grimm. Here's your all-access pass to his latest trippy creation.
With the most recent game, it's called Grimm, and it is an episodic title which presents 24 half-hour episodes, each episode visiting one unique fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. And the main theme of it is that it's presented by a character whose name is Grimm, who in our mind is sort of this lost 8th dwarf, and who is sick of how saccharine and sweet fairy tales have become in our modern age. So as you move through the world, everything in the game is about building up your power to transform the things in the world. And we've literally built light and dark versions of everything you see, from every blade of grass to every NPC to every building to every bird in the sky to every cloud in the sky. It's just all about messing up this universe. And once you're through a story and you've walked through the specific scenes of the story, Grimm presents this tale again, but this time it has teeth. This time it has tragedy. This time it has drama. And this time the moral actually means something to us.
play on!
So the gameplay model with Grimm is really borrowing little bits and pieces from things that we all know and love. Simple 3D platformers, games where you're overcoming obstacles by gaining power. It's all on one mouse. It's all on 2 buttons. You run, you jump, you transform the world. So, speaking about the relationship with GameTap and the opportunity that they've given us as a developer to build this title.
We really think episodic is a good solution for core gamers or people who like core gameplay who want a more casual experience that gives them the thrill and the satisfaction of completing a game in a fairly short amount of time. When American presented us with an idea for a game that had 24 half-hour installments, we thought this is perfect. This gives somebody a really easy way to get in, play, achieve, and get out.
We're really trying so many new things here. And at the same time, we're starting to see this mass market, casual, fun returning to games. And there's this sort of revolution going on, which I feel like Grimm, because of this opportunity GameTap has given us, might be able to ride on the crest of the wave of that.
Good to see that he's back. And for the latest game news, reviews, and more, be sure to catch an all-new X-Play every weeknight at 8 p.m. And log on to g4tv.com/Xplay for updates on everything gaming. So when X-Play returns, we're going head-to-head with Warren Spector and Chris Taylor to get their take on all of the week's big events. Then Fable 2 is almost here, and we've got an all-access pass with designer Peter Molyneux. We'll be right back.
GDC 08 is brought to you by Duty Free TV, G4's new nightly block of totally foreign shows from around the world, weeknights at 8:30, only on G4.
Image isn't everything. Image tags count as well. Indie Games begins in 60 seconds. Well, hey everybody, welcome to Indie Games, your minute's worth of free fun online. Now, image tags aren't the most exciting thing in the world, I know that. That is, however, unless you're playing the new Google image labeling game. Now, this site matches you with a random partner, and the two of you compete to come up with as many tags as you can for a series of images. Now, you get 50 points for individual tags like drunk or cheerleader, but if you can get specific like drunk Southern cheerleader, you'll earn a higher score. Now, I know it's no Nintendo DS, but it will still give your prefrontal cortex a very killer workout. The best part is you can play it at your desk, and it almost looks like you're working. You're welcome. Hit me up at g4tv.com/indiegames for a link to this and other free online fun. Until next time, I'm Kevin Pereira. What do you want for nothing?
Exclusive coverage of the Game Developers Conference. If you want a real, honest perspective on this week's events, you shouldn't turn to message boards and bloggers. Instead, you go to GDC Veterans.
All right, this is awesome because joining us today is Warren Spector, president of Junction Point Studios, and Chris Taylor, CEO and founder of Gas Power Games. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. So GDC, there's quite a few things that obviously haven't announced, but a lot of them do have a number after them. We see Fable 2, we see Ninja Gaiden 2. Do you think this is an essential part of the industry that it does rely on sequels so much? Warren?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when costs are as high as they are and, development takes so long, you kind of have to minimize your risk. The thing for me is I hope that gets balanced out with, publishers taking some risks and allowing people to do some new things.
That's right. You got to have a mix, right? And your customer wants it. The gamers want it. The business really demands it. Wall Street wants it. Everybody needs that blend.
Also, the XNA thing, obviously trying to enable more people out there to try to make games, obviously with little cost and through a lot of that creativity. Do you think that this is a positive future for the games, or do you think we'll just get a lot of stuff out there?
Well, I think we're going to get a lot of stuff, that's for sure. And I kind of want to know how you're going to make money doing that as well. But the thing that I think they have to make sure they do is find a way for people to get to the content. If it just turns into a list of, 3,000 games instead of the 200 we have now, I think there are going to be some problems maybe.
Chris, would you look at those games as like a resume for people you might want to hire into your company?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's no set formula for things like that, and XNA is another tool, another method, another mechanism. This business is changing so fast. I never lay down any set rule. Yeah, absolutely. And
And that's what's so exciting about our business, is that it changes, and the thing that happens next is never the thing that we expect.
You know what? And that goes into my next question, because, you know, the big Cinderella story, I think, was Portal. It won at the Game Developers Choice Awards because you guys recognize that it's a really innovative game. Do you think that that game's influence might actually change some thought of how people approach making games in the future?
You know, the most exciting thing in the game business right now, bar none, is the variety of ways to reach an audience and the variety of games that are coming out of that as a result. I mean, you've got things like Portal and Flow and Crayon Physics on the one hand, and you've got crazy 300-person, you know, $50 million games on the other. You've got little boutique MMOs, and you've got gigantic Blizzard and NCSoft scale MMOs. That we haven't had that kind of variety in years.
You know what I think Portal's going to do is it's going to cause people to dig deeper and to think even further outside the box.
Yeah.
You know, and just get crazier. I don't want to see people dropping acid and wandering the desert on peyote necessarily, but it's going to probably cause some of that.
Okay, well all right. I'm not going to be in the desert when that happens. With the idea of innovation out there, we're probably seeing some MMOs. We saw the Agency on our show, and obviously Age of Conan is about to come out. They're kind of changing up that formula. Do you think this is a necessary aspect so that, you know, that genre doesn't sort of just become World of Warcraft?
Yeah, I sure hope it changes. I mean, I've been saying for years that MMOs need to do something different, you know, and seeing people trying something new, I think is a good thing. It almost seems like in any given, you know, 3 or 4 year period for MMOs, there's one that dominates and the other ones are all kind of secondary.
Yeah.
So I think someone has to come along with something really radically different to have any chance of knocking, you know, World of Warcraft off its perch.
I know several examples where people have just folded their hands and said, listen, it's not going to happen here. We're not going to go up against that. That wall is 50 feet of solid titanium. Let's go anywhere. Let's auger straight down into the rock, but let's not go through that titanium wall. I think that's smart.
I think it's probably a good idea. Well, you know, we're out of time for today. This was so much fun seeing the both of you. Thanks so much for joining us, and, well, let's send it back over to Morgan.
Catch the world's most amazing TV with G4's new nightly block of totally foreign shows, Duty Free TV. The block features imported shows unseen here in the States, like Unbeatable Banzuke. This show throws down the gauntlet with over a dozen physical challenges that leave competitors wishing they'd never been born. Don't miss any of the action in Duty Free TV weeknights at 8:30 only on G4. Check out g4tv.com/dutyfree for info and exclusive downloadable content.
Up next on X-Play, one of 2004's biggest hits is back, and better than ever. We have an exclusive all-access pass to Fable 2 with Peter Molyneux when we return.
It's not a game.
Welcome back to X-Play. Fable gave us unprecedented character customization that reflected the moral choices you made along the journey of being a hero. To find out what's in store for the second chapter of this groundbreaking series, we forged an all-access pass to talk with Peter Molyneux about Fable 2.
For 2 decades, Peter Molyneux's name has been almost synonymous with God Game. Whether manipulating the world as a literal deity and populace, or simply overseeing Hollywood royalty in the movies, his games are all about giving the player control. Never lacking in ambition, Molyneux pushes his games into uncharted territory on a regular basis, exploring morality, consequence, and free will in Black and White and Fable. And now joined by the one, the only Peter Molyneux. Thanks so much for your time.
No, it's a pleasure.
The demo was fascinating, especially the whole idea that you've expanded the game world with the introduction of an Xbox Live arcade game that actually impacts the game. What was the thought process behind it, and how exactly does it work?
Well, to start off with, what we're doing is enabling you to play games outside of the Fable world. There's going to be 3 6 weeks before launch that you can play and you can accrue gold in, and then when you buy Fable 2, magically your gold will appear in Fable.
In a game that clearly is so dynamic and the world changes as you play it, what were some of the difficulties of trying to have someone just enter into your world and not have the whole thing disrupted?
The cool thing is, which is a difficulty as well, is that you are still very much alive you're still going up levels, you're still earning experience, even though you're visiting my world. What's so interesting about that idea of visiting my world is my world is going to be very different from yours. Remember, a lot of Fable is based upon simulation. What the capital city looks like of Bowerstone, it will depend on what you have done in certain stages of the game. The problem comes is, how do you get people to, see that same vision and not say, hang on a second, why haven't you got this when I've got that? So we have to be very careful about what you see and what you can't see.
Now, you ended the demo with one of the most remarkable surprises I've ever seen, with the killing of the spouse. How did that come about? You said it really was by accident?
Josh and I were on stage, and we were kind of messing around. We were kind of bored, to be quite honest. We rehearsed all this, and every word had been nailed down. And Josh, just for a laugh, thought, right, I'm going to, blow people away. And he pulled out a gun and shot my husband on stage. Everyone who was in the rehearsal, there was only about 20 people there, just started laughing. And I said, we've got to keep this in.
Can't wait to see what more else we're going to find out about people coming down the line.
The best thing I can tell you is this game is coming out this year. Awesome. We know the week. We're just not allowed to tell you what the week is yet. And I hope you're really, really going to enjoy it.
I have a feeling I will. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure. Well, yeah, I got to say, what was your favorite thing out of GDC?
I loved seeing Age of Conan. I loved seeing that I could ride a mastodon. That was awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the XNA thing. I would like to know that when people get this kit in their hands, I want to see some of the games they're making. I think it's
We're going to see some incredible things.
All right, well, that about wraps up our GDC coverage. But don't worry, we'll be back next week with all new shows every day. We'll have breaking news, exclusive demos, and the latest news. We're more than our brutally honest reviews. Remember that. Catch an all-new X-Play every weeknight at 8 p.m. and log on to g4tv.com/X-Play for more information.
Now, on Monday, we're going to be back in LA with a world premiere demo of Rainbow Six Vegas 2. As a wise man once said, always bet on black. Plus, we're proud to announce the return of two X-Play favorites. They're secret agents, and their names are Bob and Steve.
And later in the week, we'll see if a pint-sized Kratos can get the job done in our review of God of War, Chains of Olympus.
Well, I can definitely say it was an exhausting week. We were all over the place.
Yes, it was. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was worth it. You get to see so many things. You see Ninja Gaiden 2. You hear about Gears 2. There's Fable 2. We saw Prototype last night. There's 2 Human.
Yes, 2 Human.
There's a lot of 2s. And even 2 Humans got it.
Wait, even 2 Humans got it. 2 Human doesn't exactly count as a sequel.
Exactly.
There were a lot of good things. I love Age of Conan. I did like that. That was going to be a good time.